Yeah, ma'am. We all know that India has been very proud to see getting international Booker Prize through your work. So we know it was the Hindi novel in 2018, and then which got translated. So when you were writing that book, we heard you talk there. So and it got made in English. So was there anything in your mind that it would fetch some award or some this thing?
No.
How was the feeling when this happened?
No. I don't think at all about awards when I'm writing, or I don't even know which books of mine are worthy of record. So for awards, it is not a subject in my head at all. So for me, it was all a complete surprise, and it was the coming together of all the elements, the right elements. The booker read it, the translation was good, and the book was, I'm sure it was good, that's why it went where it went, and it just happened out of nowhere for me. I was not waiting for it.
So we all know that only the writer brings out the best in his or her words in the language he or he thinks. That's what we all know. So you are mostly we heard your English is more fantastic than how you write in Hindi as well. But anything has it prompted you now to even think in English and write a book now that because your translated work has?
See, first of all, is one of the things I would like people to remember is that I haven't become a writer after getting the Booker or just with this book. I have been writing for many years. Yeah, I have many other novels which I hope are also reasonably okay. Yeah. So I have been. I don't want to write in any other language except Hindi. When you do creative work, you like to do it in the language which is closest to your even umbilical cord in a way. So I have grown up in Hindi. I may have studied in English in English medium schools, but my personal upbringing is entirely in Hindi. I have lived in towns, small and big towns of Uttar Pradesh, where Hindi was all around me, and I was reading things in Hindi also, in my childhood. So I have been connected with Hindi, but not in a formal way. So Hindi was always with me. I've been writing for so many years in Hindi, and I think I have moved. My language has evolved. I have become more confident in it. Why should I think of changing that now? No, I will not.
So how did this passion towards writing happen? So as a young girl, were you always keen in writing something, and how did this really spark it?
It didn't happen one day. I think all of us, first of all, stories are something that all of us like. We like to hear, we like to read, we like to tell. So I was also in stories, and all of us want a medium in which to express ourselves, our thoughts, our experience, our observations, other people's experiences. So slowly over the years, I began to want to do it by writing. And one day I started writing.
And of all the works that has come out from just penned by you, which do you think is closest to your heart? I know it's like asking which child is closest to your heart. I know that.
I'm telling you, this is a language I'd never think in. So I don't think which is the, writing is about things that are inside you, which at different times, different things may be inspiring you or worrying you or making you happy. So at different times, you get involved in a different subject and a different expression. So all the works belong to different moments. That is all.
So in one of the previous interviews, Daisy has mentioned this translation work is the English dhwani of your Hindi work. That's the line she has mentioned. So since she's connected with you so well to bring out the right essence in English as well. So how was it with her in the sense, did she interact with you more after reading the book, or is it that she's brought the best out of it? Because she also literally thought and read the book in your...
We were interacting over email. We never met till London.
Oh, okay.
So we only met 1 week before the Booker announcement. So we had not met before that. But
it's not collaboration.
No, it is collaboration because on email we were writing, she was writing in great detail to me, asking me questions, expressing her doubts, anything that she felt unsure about, she would ask me. Then I would write back a rough translation, say this is what I have tried to do. Then she would do a good translation and show it to me. So we were doing complete detailed exchange of discussion, debates, doubts, and we were ironing out whatever problems we had over email. Yeah.
It's really surprising to know. Normally when translations happen, the author and the translator spends long time together to exchange ideas.
Partly it was the pandemic years, so it was not easy to meet. And in any case, now with technology, you don't always have to meet. When we met in London, we did not feel that we were meeting for the first time, because we had been in such close, constant contact. I mean, long questionnaires that I was answering, that can make a separate book.
Your conversations
and much fatter than this book.
Okay. So, how did this protagonist come into your mind? Like you said, these are all experiences or the things and the shades you see in the society and people around you. So, this is a very typical protagonist which all of us have seen one shade of her in our families.
Yeah.
So, to look at the entire book and the various stages that you have taken through, so how did this protagonist really come into your mind?
See, again, I can't tell you, I can't give you a pointed answer because it is not in one moment. See, there are sometimes that you write a book about a particular person, you say here's this strange person, like let us say, I'll give you an example of a story that I've written. My father-in-law, he was a zamindar, and in his estate there were a lot of snakes. So he had this peculiar love and strange relationship with snakes, that he knew about every single snake, and he was not at all scared of the snakes, and he could catch any snake. So whenever there was, somebody knew that there's a snake in that, or the snake has come in, he would be called. And he had a particular danda, which was called a sota, it had that kind of clamp. So he would do something to get the snake out, coax it out, and just put the sota on top so that the snake was imprisoned. And then he would catch the snake and first check. If it was not poisonous, anyway, no problem. If it was poisonous, it was very cruel. He used to break the poison duct. So the snake was now completely innocuous. And then he would sometimes fling it round his neck. Okay? And people used to say, he is Shiv Shankar. So now this is such a dramatic character. And of course, so this gave me an idea that I want to write a story about it. So I wrote a story about it which had many other things. So I'm not going to tell you that story. So sometimes you have something very specific which you pick up and you say, I want to write a story about this man who had this strange relationship with snakes. But other times you don't think so clearly that this is what I want to write about. Or I want to write about a woman who starts living her life all over again at the age of 80. I don't have such an idea in my head. But many things come together in my imagination, I think when you're writing, it's your memory and your imagination which bring many elements together and characters get created. So this character emerged from that kind of activity inside my head. And for me also it just started with the back, that a woman has turned her back to the world. And slowly it became, has she turned her back to the world, or she wants to push forward through the wall into another life? So it became, slowly it began to turn into a story by itself. And then I just followed the story and I was just going with it, and a novel kept evolving.
Mixture of fact and fictions.
Absolutely. I think all fiction is a mixture of fact and fiction.
How you connect yourself with the business of?
See, I think, around me, in the language that I write in, which is Hindi, there are innumerable writers who are wonderful before me and even today. So I have grown up in their midst and I have been inspired by them and I have learned from them. And one of the greatest writers for me has been Krishna Sokti, who I think has written some of the best literature available, and she is also a great personality. I mean, she's no more with us, but this personality, she was a very, very spirited person and a very fearless person and a very honest and upright person. She could say exactly what she thought to anybody, to any power that be. She had no fear in her. She was ready to take the bullet if necessary. So that character and her writing is something I've really, grown on and learned from and been really inspired by. So Krishna Sopti is one of my gurus.
And what about just you spoke about the power and literature. How you place yourself?
I don't have to place myself. Others have to place me. Let them place me. I don't want to even try and think, am I here or am I there? I don't like that way of thinking. See, for me, it is an activity I've chosen. It is my medium of expression, and I do it in a very natural way. And I want to carry on doing it in that way, which means I want to do it honestly. I might succeed, I might fail, by which I mean that I might write something which others may like, or I might write something which others may not like. But I want it to be like that. I just want to do it quietly, honestly, and at my own pace.
The craft of writing for many, it is nothing less than tapasya.
Yeah.
So how do you relate to this writing of yours? Where do you place it in your life's journey?
I'm telling you, I don't even think of it as tapasya. I think of it as natural as breathing. That's what it has become for me. So I don't think, oh, what a great thing I'm doing, or what am I doing? I don't think all that. This has become my way of, I've given so much of my time and my energy to it, and I enjoy it, and I'm involved in it, and it is my way of dealing with maybe sometimes difficult things, maybe sometimes to celebrate something. And I just want to treat it as something, it is for me something very natural and normal and a daily activity. That's all.
Ideologically, how you place yourself? How you left this?
I don't know what, see, ideologically, I do not belong to any rigid category. But I believe in equality, I believe in pluralism, I believe in multilingualism. So there are certain values which I think I certainly believe in. But I won't say that I belong to this ideology or that in a rigid political sense. I don't.
So are you writing your next work? Is there anything on the cards?
I have another novel which, when I get a little time away from interviews like this, then I should be able to give to the press.
So what is your, I don't want to put it like, what you have to say to the young writers or things like that. But generally, what is your take on the present literary scene in India? And there are many people who want to become authors today. Either is it by passion or just because to be there? So what is your word for
See, I think any activity, ultimately people have to find their own path. And you have to do it with commitment and sincerity. No one can tell you to become sincere. If you're sincere towards, you love your profession or the activity you've chosen, then you will do it with love and passion. And that is the main thing, not how to do it so that it becomes popular here, so that it reaches that shop. I don't know those calculations, so I can give them no advice if that is what they are asking me. I do not know what formula will take it to the bookshop and make it a bestseller. That I don't know. But I think one should just, if you've chosen some activity, just go for it. Do it and do it and do it. And you will be learning and honing your skill.
Fine, ma'am. Thank you so much. It was great.
Thank you. Okay.